So let's move to Unreal. This is Brown Sauce. I am currently working on replacing the Mabinogi engine. I wrote this because I wanted to tell Militians about background modeling among the work I did. I hope this article will be of some help to those who are curious about the engine replacement process. For nearly 20 years, Mabinogi has taken deep roots in Pleon. Therefore, it was obvious that the moving task was not as easy as transplanting a young tree. Of course, ultimately, most of the buildings and objects you can see in Unreal Engine will be newly built to be pretty and colorful, but for that work, you need a rough sketch. Because creating numerous new sketches is a huge cost itself, we had to find a way to replicate Aaron from Pleon and use it as a sketch at a lower cost. The first thing I was worried about when planning to transfer Mabinogi as is the question, can Pleon's specific world data files and modeling be used directly in Unreal Engine? And sadly, of course, that wasn't possible because it was Pleon only. In this situation, 3 ideas came to mind. The first idea was to modify the Unreal Engine code to read Pleon-specific files. However, if you modify the engine code like this every time you upgrade the engine version, there's a possibility that your modified code will conflict with the updated code. Then you must continue to fix the conflicting code. And because the cost of work is higher compared to other ideas, I didn't think it was the best way to create a rough sketch. The second idea was to modify the Pleon-specific files so that Unreal Engine could read them, but there's a problem with this method too. When creating objects in Mabinogi, modeling work is done using commercial programs. Afterwards, we convert it using a program we developed ourselves so that the Pleon engine can read it. Unnecessary data is deleted and some necessary data is calculated in advance for optimization. However, among the data erased at this time, there were values needed by Unreal Engine. Although it is possible to construct a 3D model with the remaining data, except for the removed data, this method was not the best, as it was noticeably different from the original. This file was modified so that Unreal Engine could read it, but the goddess statue looks angular due to the lack of smoothing. The third idea was to move the original modeling data into Unreal Engine before converting it into a dedicated file. Unreal Engine can easily and simply read files created with commercial 3D modeling programs. Therefore, as long as you have the original before conversion, I thought I could upload it to the Unreal in a form similar to Pleon. The first attempt to upload raw data to the Unreal was successful. The original data was output from a commercial 3D modeling model as a file that Unreal could read. When I imported this to Unreal, it looked much better than I imagined. However, this method was not perfect either. This is because traces of Pleon still remained. When working with a 3D model of a Mabinogi object, in addition to configuring the object's shape, data for interaction within the game is also added. However, this data was not needed in the sketch. Rather, the shape of the sketch looked different due to this data, so I had to find a way to erase this unnecessary and disruptive data. To transfer the original modeling data to Unreal, read a file in a 3D modeling program, and then it must be output as a file that Unreal can read. The problem is that even though this process is short and simple, the number of files is too large. The problem is that it takes too much time for a person to do all these files one by one. Considering the physical time, automation was essential. The 3D modeling program used by Mabinogi has a script language that supports automation. If the user scripts the tasks or actions he or she wants to do with the modeling program in advance, you can repeat that task over and over with the click of a button. Use this script to do the printing work that had to be done for each file one by one, while automating the program to do the work for you. I also deleted unnecessary data from the sketch that I was concerned about earlier. Also, the texture of the original modeling data must be converted into pixel format so it can be read by Unreal Engine. This processing was also programmed to be done in the script. In order to use the transferred 3D model as a sketch, you must place it in Aaron created with Unreal. However, Unreal Engine cannot read Pleon's specific world data files, so I had to check the location, direction, and size in Pleon one by one. There were a lot more pieces and more work involved than the previous work, and because it had to be processed using Unreal Engine, I couldn't even write a script for a 3D modeling program. While I was thinking about it, I thought of an idea. If it is possible to extract object type, location, direction, and size from a dedicated world data file, couldn't we use it for placement in Unreal? When constructing Pleon's Aaron world, Mabinogi uses its own world creation program. 3D model data created with a commercial program is imported into the world creation program and placed. Afterwards, the batch status is finally converted into a world data file. The self-developed program was familiar to me, and the inside data file was. So I was able to modify the program to extract the data needed for deployment from the world data file. Now all that's left is to have Unreal Engine read the extracted data and automatically place the 3D model. This issue was addressed by adding a feature to the engine. Because the automatic placement function was implemented with functions that already exist in Unreal Engine, it was relatively less expensive than an engine modification, and the risk of code conflicts was low. Dumbarton transferred to Unreal Engine to use as a sketch. Through these processes, my work on automating sketch production was completed. Currently, background modelers are working hard to create a new Aaron based on the sketch. My eyes are purified as I look at Aaron being reborn in high quality. Although my work does not create a finished product, I feel great joy and pride because I am helping Aaron in her process of rebirth. There's a lot of work ahead before Mabinogi can fully move to Unreal. There are many technical problems that need to be solved. It may not be an easy road, but for the day, we invite all Militians to the new Mabinogi. We will move forward steadily and diligently. Okay, so we're going to be taking a look at another one of the posts on the Korean Mabinogi Eternity project site. So I would like to talk about texture production during the process of remodeling Turconail, where Militians will live. If you change the engine to Unreal, the background graphics will have to get better. Wouldn't it be possible to make it respond to real-time light by adding normal, roughness, and specular so that the characteristics of each material stand out? I'll make all the backgrounds you've wanted to make for a while. The will to create a truly fantastic background was sparked. However, our Mabinogi isn't like this. I worked too hard on sculpting using graphics tools, but it didn't have the hardwood feel that Mabi has. When I strengthened the normal, realizing low polygons with the three-dimensional effect of high polygons, the clear feeling typical of Mabi did not appear. However, I gathered my courage and went back to the beginning and thought about what elements determine the characteristics of Mabinogi's background. Mabinogi is a cartoon graphic. The flat feel of the environment setting creates a unique 2D feel, and the diffuse texture has strong contrasts to bring out the sense of mass. The sense of shape and proportion of the background had a simpler and more casual feel than the realistic proportions. On the other hand, the texture was closer to real life than expected. In these cases, Mabinogi's background identity was being added. So here's a good example of like the wooden textures being showed well. And then Avalon clearly shows like stone texture. This was it. More than anything, I realized that texture plays a big role. The unique, clean, and organized feeling comes from the texture. So, I tried creating the texture right away. First, create a shape. To what extent should sculpting using graphics tools be done? In sculpting shaping using graphic tools, I decided to neatly process large chunks and edges and only add large cracks to the wood texture. Work efficiency is also important, so the wood grain feel was created using alpha in the tool. So here you can see, like, this is the door to Duncan's house, and this is like the window. We've all seen the preview of his house in Unreal Engine. Second, create a diffuse base color of the object texture. In the past, texture creation was created by combining photo textures with Photoshop or drawing them directly. Nowadays, several tools such as ZBrush and Substance are used. Looking at the Mabinogi texture, we could see that it was close to real life and had a high density. It has a semi-realistic feel that has been processed through photo texture synthesis or stylized texture with high detail. Since it was produced 20 years ago, it had a strong feel of a photo composite hand mat. To reflect these aspects, using the production tool, we used the wood grain texture as a base and built it up one by one. Use the sharpen filter sharpening effect to express highlights and depicted parts more clearly. In particular, care must be taken when creating high polygons to clearly express highlights and shading at the edges. And this looks pretty cool. You can like see how in this picture like the wood is like changing. That looks really cool. And here you can see the front of Duncan's house again. This was it. Although the road was difficult, I was very proud that I had laid the foundation for transferring Mabinogi's style to the new engine. Yeah, it's very important Mabinogi has the same style, and this guy did really good work on this. Like, this isn't easy to do. So on the left we have existing resources, so the resources from Pleon Engine, and on the right we have the Unreal Engine resources. So this is the church in Pleon Engine and the bank in Pleon Engine, and this is the church in Unreal Engine and the bank in Unreal Engine. Making the tiles was also difficult. The tiles also used a texture that was close to real life and had a high density. Think of it as a semi-realistic texture with a processed feel through compositing from a photo texture or a stylized texture with high detail. I tested it out in two ways. Processed through Substance Designer texture creation tool for soil and grass, you can see it here, and photo plus PRB, so physically based rendering, resource synthesis for the soil and grass, so you can see like the two differences between these pictures. How to create a Substance Designer from a stylized feel to a more realistic depiction. Advantage: as work resources accumulate, you can quickly work with tiles with a different feel by reorganizing and recycling nodes. Disadvantage: it takes time to express photo-like details. And photo texture and PRB resource plus Substance Designer and Sampler equals composite. The work speed is fast. Disadvantages is it requires reliance on photo resources, so expressions are limited. So here is another cool picture of Turconail Town Square. This is kind of cool because now we have a closer look at the actual town square area that a lot of us have spent a lot of time being AFK in. So I like the wood that they decided to add here. That wasn't here before. It used to just be all stone. It looks like they added like wood right here in like the four corners. I think that's to make it feel a little bit more like a bench. And you can also see like the brick right there. That looks cool. And you can see some brick over there too. Overall, I think they did a really good job with this. This looks like Town Square. It feels good. We can see everything appearing. We can see all the trees appearing, all the buildings and fences, the water, the dock for fishing. Let's go right to here. This is our first real look at like Turconail as a whole. The only thing we really can't see is Fergus's shop. So there's the healer's house way over there. That's going to be the graveyard. I would love to see some close-ups of what the graveyard is going to look like. Looking back, a lot of things happened. There's still a lot to do, but the style has been established. This is how the background graphics of Mabinogi Eternity are being produced. So this was an interesting post to read. I'm definitely glad that they're interested in capturing Mabinogi's style and making it feel like the same game. Okay, so today we're going to be looking at the Mabinogi Eternity section on the Korean website. And today we're going to be looking at for Silky Militian Hair. So, hello, this is Developer K. I would like to talk about the process of applying physics-based animation to bring life to the hair of Militians. In the beginning, there was a skeleton, so this is a skeleton of a Militian. The screenshot above is of the skeleton omitted for illustration purposes. In the actual game, more skeletons are used for various movements. Traditional animation techniques for creating character movement include: there's a basic skeleton for the character, and the key animation which moves the skeleton in XYZ direction and adds a key to each frame is common. For example, let's consider the motion called walking. Since the legs must move back and forth, the thigh, calf, foot, and toe bones must be moved each frame to set the height, left foot, right foot, respectively. Of course, let's move the arms naturally too. Let's set the height by moving the upper arm, forearm, and hand skeletons each frame. For natural movement, the body also needs to be in rhythm. So pelvis, spine, neck, etc. Walking was used as an example, but in Mabinogi, all character movements are performed in the same manner as above. It is a key animation method that holds the key by moving the position of the skeleton for each frame. The motions of various skills, the motions of actions, etc., all movements. When the above skeleton moves, the attached modeling should also move along with it, right? The work done to achieve this is called rigging and skinning. Connect each vortex of modeling to the skeleton rigging and set the skeleton by giving weights that will be affected by its movement skinning. This allows the attached modeling skin to stretch or shrink when the skeleton moves. Since the basic skeleton of the character is shared, even if the modeling is changed, if the skinning is done properly, the animation operates normally. So hair animation. Let's take an example of a ponytail. It is said that animation must be added to the ponytail hair with all key animation data created based on the basic skeleton described above. First, we need to add a skeleton for the ponytail for movement to the basic skeleton. So here you can see the picture for an example. Now all you have to do is add a key for the movement of the additional skeleton for the ponytail to the animations you previously created for character movement. In all character animations, 13,586, the key of the skeleton added for the ponytail must be adjusted step by step. So here's all the steps. As the hair bones continue to be added to the base bone, rigging and skinning problems also arise. So separation of the hair skeleton. Before something like the above becomes difficult just by imagining it, let's separate the hair skeleton from the basic skeleton. Leave the existing basic skeleton and animation data as is and create a separate skeleton for the hair. Let's use the ponytail as an example again. Let's create a separate hair skeleton like this and create a separate animation for the ponytail that will run simultaneously with the existing animation. At this time, when the walking animation of the basic skeleton is executed, the walking animation of the ponytail skeleton is also executed at the same time. The animation operates separately on the two skeletons, but the result looks like one movement. Of course, for this it is necessary to adjust the frame length of both animations and keep adjusting them based on the basic skeleton animation so that the hair does not stick out too much. Separating the skeleton only solves problems in the rigging and skinning process compared to adding a hair skeleton to the basic skeleton. The process for creating a key animation corresponding to all existing animations is the same. Currently, in the case of moving wigs and hair Mabinogi, the skeleton is separated for each hair mesh and a key animation is created and applied in response to the motion applied to the existing basic skeleton. Physics-based animation. What is physics animation? It has physical properties such as mass, inertia, damping, and elasticity. This refers to animation that is simulated to produce results similar to everyday physical phenomena. In short, if you set various conditions, movement is automatically created according to the physical phenomena. If you just listen to the exclamation, there is no need to specify the position for the skeleton for each frame like in the existing key animation. It sounds like a technology that naturally and automatically simulates the position of the skeleton. In reality, there are many things to consider in order to express natural movement. Let's use the ponytail as an example again. Even in motion, in place, in motion that moves and runs, or in motion with high acceleration, the simulation should come out not moving as if it's bouncing too much, right? In small movements, there is little response to external factors, so it is difficult to express the ponytail's movements in detail. On the other hand, with large movements, acceleration or collisions can make the simulation unstable, causing the movement to appear inaccurate. To respond to these problems, adjust the parameters of the physics simulation, or adjustments to the magnitude and direction of the motion are required. Nevertheless, there are cases where it is not possible to satisfy both extreme situations of small motion and large motion. Initial physics-based animation test appearance, so that's this here. So 1, no physical animation, and 2, small physical animation movement, and 3, large physical animation movement. So you can see here how the hair isn't moving at all when the character moves, and you can see here how it's moving a little bit when the character moves, and in 3 you can see how the hair is moving a lot when the character moves. For the flowing Malaysian hair, the key animation and physics-based animation introduced above are all research and development processes for the flowing Malaysian hair. In addition, there are various contents such as combination of key animation and physics-based animation, retargeting system, etc. We will cover related content in the next costume animation, the four-pointed skirt action. Okay, we will cover related content in the next costume animation. The four-pointed skirt is actually. As the journey of the Mabinogi Eternity project continues, Malaysian's hair will become even more luscious. Okay, so this is good. So they are working on hair movement in this part of the update. Alright, let's play some Mabinogi today. Let's see, what kind of playlist do I want? Let's do Fantastic Melody stuff. We'll start with that. Okay, so right away we're gonna get the event stuff done, and then we're going to do veteran dungeons pretty much all day because I still have these 13 passes that expire in 10 hours. So I don't think I'm gonna use all of them today, but we're gonna try and use a lot of them so they don't go to waste. So we'll just do some veteran runs. Let's go up here and take care of the event thing real fast. Won't take long. And we'll do a little bit of homestead work too. Done. 5 times. I think I missed Saturday, but... Oh, I must have gotten that homestead stone after midnight. Alright. Let's harvest all this. Wish that would quit opening. For some reason that window keeps opening even though I'm not clicking, like I ain't click on a field. I guess I maybe right-clicked it, but... Hang on, what if I... Okay. Yeah, it must be like the right-clicking that's triggering that. What if I run through here? Huh. I think that's what's causing that to always open. Let's get our normal daily dungeon. And we can buy fine leather on, oh wait, that's Mondays. Should've done that yesterday. Kinda lazy about that. Rabby dungeon. Yeah, we can do that. We'll use that veteran pass.
제법 잘 썼네. B+.
So, Rabby... And real quick, let's work on that spirit weapon. So, Tanzanite. We need some of that. Oops. There. Oh, they don't have very much of it. Kind of expecting there to be more. It's disappointing. Give me that one too. We'll just buy everything they have. I'm not gonna buy that one that costs like $1 million, but I'll buy these ones. I want to get this spirit weapon leveled up. $91, and then those two, 10.81%. And we need 5 to upgrade this. $7 to take it to the next level. Alright, dual guns. I crafted some ammo over the weekend because I was starting to run low. I had like 20 something left. And staff, for when I want to spam meteor a little bit. Divide. Divide. There we go. Got 3 veteran passes to use. Alright, let's go. A lot of veteran runs today. Well, let's open up the status list. That way I can keep an eye on that gunner's crest. Time for the boss. No cutscene? Oh, this is a super easy boss. One. And then we have time shift. There's number 2. 3. And the 4th meteor, and we're really close to a boost too. It's not doing much damage though. Let's get that Gunner's Crest ready. Put her on ice. Again. Okay. Let's get some distance. She can run right through some of those attacks. Here, have my spirit weapon attack too. Might as well see what that can do. "22 minutes and 28 seconds. Not bad considering I went down that one path that led to a dead end. We're not gonna do the same dungeon over and over again though, that would be boring, so... Ooh, lots of smoldering thread. I actually need those right now, so that's good. Awakened strength fragment, emerald, spirit gems, but lots of smoldering thread. Very good. Let's stop by the Arcana Association room real fast. We're gonna do Berry Dungeon next, I think. Almost level 50. Okay, so... Bank. Withdraw. Let's take out... Let's take out 1 million. 100,000, 1 million. There we go. Forge crests. How many do I need for the next link? Jeez, that's a lot. Okay, let's buy some smoldering thread. I'll take all those. Take all those. Take all those too. It's good enough for now. Pretty sure we have more than 200 out of all of this. I don't have that much gold. How much gold do I have? We have 1 million. So we'll have to dial that down a little bit. For now. And we can earn some more in the veteran dungeon. Wait a minute. 1 mil, 50,000? I don't have that much. Okay, 1 million gold. So that's 100. So 165 more to make. We'll need 79 more to level that. I mean, I do have the money for that in the bank, but we'll just do the next dungeon and use some of that to pay for it. Do I have any, yeah, we have exactly 10. Let's take out 10 fine leather. And then we'll go ahead and sell that. Wait, when did these expire? I thought these still had like 9 or 10 hours. Crap. These ones have like 9 hours left. I guess these ones didn't. Well, that's a big waste. Okay, I guess we're only doing 2 more veteran dungeons, plus whatever the daily veteran dungeon is too. Let's open this up. Fine leather. List. How much is fine leather going for these days? It's been a while since I've sold any. The stacks, come on. Stack 5, that's not 10. Okay. Yeah, mine's still pretty reasonably priced. Alright, let's go to Bangor and do the Dewberry dungeon on the veteran level. Gonna use up those other 2 passes, and then we'll do the normal veteran daily as well. Oh, and I guess this normal daily dungeon thing is complete. How long do I have on that Beltane crystal that I opened yesterday? Okay, tons of time. We might switch over to Forbidden Alchemist and... like, once I get to level 50, I might use the Forgetful Potion, then go do Nowhere to Run to get to level 200 to level up Forbidden Alchemist a little bit. Get started on that. Alright, let's go. And boss time. Gonna freeze him in case he gets any big ideas of attacking while I'm doing this. Let's do that real quick. Well, let's target that one. He's down. Okay, we're gonna get those two. Actually, three since they're all so close together. Meteor. Meteor. And then Meteor again. And one more left. Done. 15 minutes and 46 seconds. I bet me my fast... Might be my best time. Yeah, let's get that ruby too. Let's get out of here. How much gold do I have? Okay, like 200,000, almost 200,000. Let's go do another dungeon. What dungeon do I want to do next? Do coil. That'll be fun. Alright, really quick, I'll be right back in just a minute and then we'll run coil on veteran mode. Okay, so Coil Veteran Mode. Alright, time for the boss. I think it's a headless and a giant fireball. Yeah. guys. Meteor? And then 1, 2, and 3. Oh, he's just barely out of range of that. Come on. Not that time. Freeze. Oops, I think I got that last one in. 21 minutes and 53 seconds. How much gold do we have now? Like 400k? We'll go to the association room after this. $300. 440. Still need 35 more. Yeah, let's take everything out. It's fine. Make the rest of them. Wait, how much do I have? 540? Okay, let's unlock the next link. So this is gonna give us 50 more max damage. $20 more stamina and 1 more critical damage. And we also have Arsenal Gunner at level 50 now, so that's maxed out. So what's the next one gonna be? That's gonna give us more transmutation energy, 2 more tracer pod damage multiplier. And the MP is gonna go up by 52. Okay, nice. So now let's actually go get the daily dungeon quest. And we'll see what that is for the vet dungeon. We'll do that. Math dungeon. Right over here. How much longer do those doll bags have? 24 minutes? Yeah, it should be about enough time to finish. Hey, fine leather. That's nice. And now for the boss. Well, bosses, we have like 3 of these hellhounds. Didn't notice me, I walked right behind him. I don't think he did. Let's get those 2 with the meteor and see what happens. Okay, time shift. Meteor again. I think we can still get those 2. Then we can get those 2. And one more time. Oops, that was a little too early. Crap, I have range. Back a little bit. Oh, you're trying that, okay. That one's down. And that one's down. Done. 21 minutes and 7 seconds. Arsenal Gunner is exactly how I want the Fighter Arcana to be. Because, like, with Arsenal Gunner, I feel like I'm using a lot of combinations of not just the Arsenal Gunner skills, but I'm also using a lot of dual gun skills as well. Like, you're mixing a lot of both. And that's the kind of feel I want for whatever the Fighter Arcana is. I want us to be using some of the old fighter combo skills and the new Arcana ones that come with it. How much gold do we have? 267,000. Let's complete that. These guys don't have much time left, so we'll go ahead and cancel their summons. Alright, Veteran Dungeon. Oh, I guess that one auto-completes. Let's go to the Association Room. Forge those. How many do I need for the next link? 300. It's 100 more than last time. Okay, how long before my Smoldering Thread expires that I bought? 6 days, 21 hours, so we have over a week to do that. Let's use these last two near tight, actually. That's a good idea. We gotta get rid of that. So I'll pick a new doll bag to summon up. And we're gonna go do 2 techs. Because I need to use those. I'm gonna be getting the crystals I need to level Time Shift. So the blue ones. I want to focus on leveling that right now. So let's equip some Mana Shield. And we're just gonna do this mission twice. Because that's all the near tight I have. Well, let's pull up the details again. There. Yeah, that's one time. Plus these checks will help get rid of the rest of that smoldering thread, so that's good. Okay, let's get rid of a lot of this leather. We don't need all this. Now where'd that check thing go? I know I picked it up. There's no way I didn't pick it up. There it is. That over here. Hey, we can make some off of those too. Let's run it one more time. Okay, done. And since we're all out of near-type, we won't be doing this again. So let's take off Mana Shield. And I'm gonna use the, where's the box thing? There's the check. Oh, here we go. So I want the blue crystals. These don't expire for like 2 weeks, so that's perfectly fine. Take 2 of those. Okay, we have almost half of what we need. So on Thursday, we're going to do a lot of tech missions, and we're going to level up Time Shift. And we'll probably also open 10 boxes of that bunny pet gacha, probably before the tech missions, before we do all that. Let's go back to the Arcana Association room. Toss those in there, then we'll pull that out. And then get some gold from that. Is there anything else to sell? I don't think so. Yeah, that's probably it. So 646,000. I think that'll be enough to get rid of all my threads. $400, $500, and 60,000. This is why I don't do it from the bank, because if I did it from the bank, it would go up by 28k gold. I'm not gonna pay that. Okay, well, we have a third of the crests that we need. We still need like 199 more. And let's wrap things up right around here, I think. Today will be a little bit of a shorter day. There's not too much going on. Oh, I know. So that Beltane crystal doesn't go to waste. Let's go ahead and use that now. Like that. If we use it now, then the effect won't go away until I actually use it, so... tomorrow I think we'll switch over to Forbidden Alchemist and actually like do Nowhere to Run to get to level 200 so we can actually make some progress on that. Because that's the next thing to work on leveling. So let's use our Forgetful Potion for the day. And then we can work on that tomorrow. And Thursday will be the big day. That's when we can do our techs again, and when the bunny gacha will be starting. In fact, that pops up if you click on the point inventory. So we'll be opening 10 of those on stream on Thursday, and I'll post the results on YouTube. That way you can see the good or bad luck that we have for yourself and decide whether or not you want to play this one. Pet boxes are usually a good investment. Like out of all the gacha, these ones are probably the best money-wise and X-wise. So we'll open a couple of those. But that's it for today's Mabinogi stream.